Today's theme is a vehicle called Flapter that appeared in the Castle in the Sky. It's a movie of Studio Ghibli. I would like to try what it would be like if I made it a modern style. I would like to show the situation in time lapse. This vehicle is a style to operate while standing. When I standing, I mean slightly crouching. It seems to have a handle lever, but it seems that the mainstream method is to operate it by shifting your weight. It seems to be an operation method in which you have to hold the pipe at all times. In the initial setting of the original of this machine, there is a sketch with a hand like a front leg of a cicada larva. You can hang the front legs on the wall to keep the aircraft in place. It seemed that the usual way of parking was to hang it on the wall instead of parking it on the ground. The bottom of the aircraft looks like a ship, so I thought it was a type of flying boat. That's why this machine may not be able to land on land. There is a scene where two people steer this ship. There are accelerator and brake pedals. When riding with two people, it seems necessary to decide who is in charge of which pedal. This is because there is a high possibility that your feet will not reach the pedals when riding with two people. since it's necessary to operate by synchronizing of two people. There may be a hidden setting that the pairing that appears in the movie is between people who get along well. The next thing is written in the setting materials, but this wing is said to be moved by artificial muscles. Since the artificial muscles works by electrical stimulation, it is expected that this aircraft contains a generator, electric generator. The characteristic shape of this machine, there are projections on both sides toward the front. I didn't quite understand the purpose of these two protrusions. They didn't seem to be lights, headlights. These resemble the compound eyes of cicada larvae and may have been added as a feature to make it. In any case, these two protrusions are important elements that show the characteristic of this plane, so I decided to follow them. Now I'm making the air intake. It seemed to be designed so that air flows from the air supply port at the tip to the exhaust ports on both sides. The original design also has shark gill-like slits on the both sides. I'm making the handle part now. The original appears to be made out of bent pipes of metal. This is supposed to be a slightly luxurious material, composite plastic of carbon material. I had to think a little about the position of the base of this wing. It was worried that if the roots of these wings were far from the body, the power of the muscle would not be transmitted well. On the other hand, if the base of the wings is too close to the body, there is a concern that the wings cannot be folded. In the original, there is a scene where the wings are folded and stored in the mothership. The joint at the base of the wing is positioned so that both can be achieved. I'm modeling wings now. The original wings do not have vein-like lines like this. It was very flat, smooth, beautiful, and transparent. In this design, I want to give it an insect-like element, so I added a line like this. It is assumed that the bones are added only where strength is required, and the other parts are made as thin as possible to reduce weight. It assumes a method of production using modern 3D printing technology. Such a symmetrical model is routinely made in half. However, when mirror copy is performed, there may be a step at that joint. In that case, I think the best way is to cut each other a little bit and connect the new surfaces smoothly. Let's move on to the interface part. The original machine has analog meters and some toggle switches. I think it's a device that was chosen to represent the atmosphere of the era of the work. This time I'm thinking of slightly more advanced era, 50 to 100 years from that. So I'm trying to use new devices. The interface is a combination of a liquid crystal panel and buttons. I think these are the formats used in fighter cockpits, as you know. I think the good things about this format is that you can change the software when you update the version. Another advantage is that you can reduce the number of the buttons because you can change the functions of the buttons for each screen. There are spike-like protrusions on the floor of the cockpit. For better grip on the bottom of the shoes when shifting weight. Hexagonal ribs for pressure in multiple directions. As for the color, I thought that various colors could be considered. I've had the impression that it looks a little like a sports car, so maybe the gentle colors did not fit. I felt that the calm color was a mismatch, so I used a bright red for this main render. Black is cool too. This color is nice too. Yellow may not suit this. I personally like gray. Red is the main color this time. White is also good. The moss green is similar to the mobile armor of the Zeon army of Gundam. Right now, the wings are made of opaque material, but I think it would be nice to make them transparent to lighten the presence. In the original anime, the wings moving at high speed are expressed with simple scratch lines, but that conveys the appearance of the wings well. I admire the splendors of the expressive power of animation. I confess that I haphazardly made these petals. I have a feeling it won't work if you step on it. I thought I should observe car pedals more. The roots of those pedals were supposed to be in the ceiling. That was a great design that prevented things from getting stuck between the pedal and the ground. This time, the nose is long and flat like a sports car, so it's different from the original. Considering that the pilot is driving in a crouching position, I think the original proportions make more sense, as the interface can be positioned closer to their faces. I admit that this time I was led by the design of the stereotype of a sports car. Drone development is blooming these days. I don't think most people have developed such a flapping wing type airplane. Drone-like propellers and flapping wings may have their own advantage and disadvantages. I think many people think that drone propellers are compatible with the rotation of electric motors and have little energy loss. In the world of Castle in the Sky, only the Dora family uses flapping airplanes, so this style may be a heresy even in that world. I am very curious about how realistic the flapping type airplane is. Black is so cool. I personally like gray like this. I like this color too. I think some people like this. The theme this time was a flapping airplane. I imaged that kind of design it would be if we assumed that the machine had evolved using modern technology. If you don't mind, I would appreciate it if you could consider the channel registration button and the good button. See you again next time. Goodbye. Take care.